week, Jim? How do we talk about these big ratings?
The big ratings.
The big ratings, AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, July 9th, 2025, from 8 to 10:08 p.m. on average, watched by 607 viewers.
Okay, so that sounds to me like that last week, but worse than the week before. But am I just misremembering this?
I don't remember 2 weeks ago. Last week was 584.
They're all in.
The 4 week
They're still in the pocket.
Yeah. The 4 week average is 632.
Yeah, so this is the same people. But where did they start and where did they end up? That's always the thing that tells the story.
Well, let's go to the story. This was compiled by WrestleNomics, a quarter-hour breakdown. Quarter 1, 8 to 8:15 p.m. The Mercedes Moné, Tony Storm live angle, the John Moxley promo. Every one of these promos where he wants to sound like whatever he's trying to do, he always has a second camera there. No sense. Moxley.
Yeah, yes.
There's always like a camera off to the side filming it too. For no good reason.
That's an artistic treatment that they're doing these days with television shows.
Is this the character that should have artistic, cinematography in his promos? I don't think so. Also, the Young Bucks angle, 732,000 viewers.
Okay, that's better than some of their lead-ins or their opening quarters here lately. Not what it used to be, but respectable, but of course they've got plenty of room to fall.
We go to quarter 2, 8:15, 8:30 p.m. Bandito and Brody King. The team is listed here as Proto Sheeta. The team of the Prototype, I think it is. Is it the Prototype? He's something. Proto Star, Kyle Fletcher, and Takeshita with picture-in-picture. 643,000 viewers.
Ouch. Okay. Now, again, we're starting. I was disregarding it as, just an anomaly for a while there. But whereas before they started with a big number in the first quarter and then steadily dropped through the show to end up in the toilet, now they're starting with a smaller number, and they still lose a lot in the first 15 minutes, but sometimes it's so much that it goes back up later in the program, so they're fluctuating with this smaller audience. They pick and choose what they want. They can't keep dropping like that. That's 6 to 89,000 people in one quarter. They won't make their average.
Well, we go to quarter 3, 8:30 to 8:45 p.m. The Outrunners backstage promo, an ad break, FTR and Stokely Hathaway and the Patriarchy's backstage angle.
I skipped all this.
Followed by the start of Ricochet versus Blake Christian with picture-in-picture. 604,000 viewers.
Okay, Ricochet does a number on 39,000 more people, so now they're down about 128,000 from the start of the show, and we're only 45 minutes in. They got to come back up almost.
We go to quarter 4, 8:45 to 9 p.m., the end of Ricochet versus Blake Christian, the post-match with the Gates of Agony. The Hurt Syndicate's backstage angle, looking for their belts. Kazuchika Okada and Kenny Omega video, an ad break, and the start of the MJF Mark Briscoe live promo. 622,000 viewers.
There's plus 18,000, and coincidentally, the Hurt Syndicate and MJF show up. Let's see, what's the top of the hour when we're into the Hurts? How badly were they hurt?
We go to the big 9 o'clock hour, quarter 5, 9 to 9:15 p.m. The Hurt Syndicate Mark Briscoe Jet Speed Patriarchy live angle, coming out of that previous segment. And the start of Megan Bayne versus Ty Mello versus Tekla versus Queen Aminata with picture-in-picture. 678,000 viewers.
There you go. They get 56,000 at the top of the hour, and because the stars are on the program. But now the question is, after they've seen that fiasco, did they want to stick around?
We go to quarter 6, 9:15 to 9:30 p.m. Megan Bayne Oh, the continuation of that match. I'm not going to list everyone again. The post-match backstage angle with Tekla and Queen Amanada, Mark Briscoe's backstage promo, and the start of Samoa Joe versus Wheeler Yuta. 620,000 viewers.
Good, and they lost almost exactly the same amount they gained. 2,000 more.
We go to quarter 7, 9:30 to 9:45 p.m. The continuation of Joe versus Yuta, the post-match with the Death Riders and the Ops, and an ad break. Do a picture-in-picture during the match. 596,000 viewers.
Yeah, and there's nothing to hang around for at this point. So are we going to limp out like a whipped dog?
Well, we go to quarter 8. I remind you, whip him like a dog. Quarter 8. I remind you of an 8-minute overrun. Quarter 8, 9:45 to 10 p.m. Adam Page, the Ops, and Will Ospreay versus Death Riders and the Young Bucks with picture-in-picture. 606,000 viewers.
Also, 10,000 people from Rancho Cucamonga dropped in.
8-minute overrun. The post-match including Swerve Strickland, Gabe Kidd, Nana, and a limousine. 620,000 viewers.
And poor Modern Family fans wandering in hoping that this will be over soon. So, get a highest quarter hour besides the open, which always is. It's for the top of the second hour when they had MJF and the Hurt Syndicate out. And otherwise, everybody's, and they start dropping off at the end because they know that the cause is lost. Although, the Buckaroos, they didn't get the lowest segment. They just about tied for it, 604 and 606. So that's good for them.
It says something that the Hurt Syndicate stuff still gets the most interest. And we've seen this play out for a while now.
But let's see how long that continues. Let's see what the reactions are in the buildings going forward, and let's see what the numbers are on the ratings.
Did you see any of that ridiculous online chatter this week? And I think it may have been a wrestler, an indie wrestler or something that started it. And it was like, for those who think that it's crazy that Mike Bailey would be in there with Bobby Lashley, Mike Bailey's a 4th-degree black belt. He would be able to take Bobby Lashley easily.
Oh, good God. What?
And then other people are like, you're out of your fucking mind. And other people would say, yeah, Mike Bailey's a legitimate 4th-degree black belt. And other people say, yeah, Bobby Lashley did MMA, he trained in the military. So
was my cousin Larry. He is a goddamn, yes, 50 years ago or whatever, but you can do that in karate school. Bobby Lashley wrestled in the fucking armed services. He was nationally ranked as an amateur. He's fought MMA. Look at the fuck of him. What kind of moron thinks this? Is that the same one that thinks Moxley's amateur level jiu-jitsu tournament stretchings in Newport somehow qualify him as goddamn Randy Couture? But
I don't know.
You know what? The most dangerous fans are the fans who just know enough about real sports to be dangerous. Because they will say any goddamn stupid thing.
Buddy.
Anyway, I guarantee I'll put some money. If anybody wants to arrange that, if we call up Dana White and he get Trump's dick out of his mouth, or if anybody wants to set that, MVP could make some money on it. I'll put up $100,000 on Bobby Lashley against Hong Kong Phooey just to fucking see it.
Well, and I've seen now who apparently started. Apparently, Jelly Natello was fighting with fans.
Okay.
And he said Mike Bailey's a 4th-degree black belt. He would have a real shot at beating Bobby Lashley in a real fight if he kicked him in the jaw. And then that was doubled down by Cheeseburger.
You know what? Wait a minute. Hold on. I'd have a hell of a shot at knocking Mike Tyson out if I hit him in the head with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Is he supposed to just stand there and wait on it?
And then the wrestler known as Cheeseburger chimed in and said Speedball could legitimately kill 90% of the people in pro wrestling.
Oh, Christ.
And likely 100% of the people that complain about wrestling on the internet. Thankfully, he's a nice guy. Do you think Mike Bailey could kill 90% of the wrestlers in the business?
Oh, please, hello. But we're all, thankfully, we have been saved the horror of if Spitball Hong Kong Fooey had a bad temperament. Imagine the chaos and the carnage he could wreak across the land. Thankfully, he's a nice guy. Because none of these guys have athletic backgrounds, so when somebody can say, yeah, I'm a 4th degree black belt from fucking so-and-so karate school in this strip mall in fucking Inglewood or whatever. Oh, wow, don't fuck with him. Jeez, what do you think Kurt Angle would have said if he'd come up and say, yeah, I'm a 4th degree black belt? Well, good. Take it and wrap it around your neck and tie it to my bumper because I'm going to drag you along through this.
How fast do you think Lashley or Shelton or even fucking MVP?
Shelton!
MVP's a black belt.
Well, yeah, but MVP walking with a fucking cane right now. I'd hate for him to have to hurt himself killing fucking Spitball. But Shelton... Again, I'm sorry, I've personally witnessed friendly skirmishes between Shelton Benjamin and Brock Lesnar in training situations. And no, no. It's a whole different fucking level that's why they don't even consider themselves professional athletes. They're entertainers. That's why when somebody has the slightest modicum of a legitimate athletic background, they're like, oh, wow. The fuck? I hope Dan Severn doesn't ever piss Spitball off. Poor Dan. I hesitate to think what Fooey would do to him.
I saw someone use him in an argument the other day, too. They're like, Kenny Omega really did MMA. Look, he even fought Dan Severn. And it's like, well, I hate to break it to you, but not all those fights were fights.
Dan Severn's worked more MMA than he has fucking pro wrestling. I think now that since he's retired from competition, I can fucking say that without hurting him or anything. But what the fuck? It's ridiculous. They all need to get a new business, don't they? A new line of work, Brian.
All of them, yeah.
That's what they all need. And what if they can't do anything? You